In this video, I'm going to review the Legend of Zelda Remix cart for the NES. What you get is 24 versions of the first Zelda, 11 of Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, 2 completely new Zelda games, as well as a Super Mario Bros. mock-up. Now, before I go into the different variations, I'm going to point out things about the cart itself. This is going to be the first and most important thing here. The cart only saves 3 total quests at once for all the variations combined. You'll want to number them so you can remember which game that save belongs to. This is a curse and a blessing. You see, you can go to the regular version of Zelda to pick up certain items, then save and restart back into the alternate quest. This is cheating, of course, but can be a savior if it gets too difficult. There is one major caveat with multi-carts like this one. If you start up, and I mean just simply selecting another Zelda game type, will instantly wipe out your game saves. Even if you don't save in that game, all your saved games are gone. Keep this in mind, especially if you let anyone else play this cart. Most of the regular game Genie Coats work through the game variations as well. For example, you could use SZYZNO for infinite bombs and reveal the rock to be blasted. Just don't overdo it to the point of defeating the new challenges. This cart is sensitive to dirt. Sometimes I have to clean it multiple times for it to work. Be sure to save your game often. First up is the Super Mario Bros. Zelda World mock-up. This is mainly just a reskin of Super Mario Bros. With only level 1-2 being modified. Nine of the Zelda 1 games on this cart are the normal quest with some minor tweaks. The first one is just flat out the original quest, but it is the revised version. You can have fun with game Genie codes that only work on this one. Otherwise, it's just the original game. In this one, the music plays faster and the sound effects are all pitched higher. This is due to the US's 30 frames per second versus Europe's 25 frames per second. This gets annoying after a while. Also, you can have fun with this game Genie code. The text is done with the font of Japan's version, but converted to English. Just too bad we don't have that microphone on the controller to blow away those Pole's voice enemies. Easier Zelda. I say easier because there are only a few tweaks to make it easier, mostly in the overworld. Also, items are much cheaper in the stores. There are a few dungeons that are easier, mostly where you fight the Wizrobes and those like-likes. However, most of the dungeon rooms are unchanged. This is how I imagined this game would have looked on the Atari 7800. It's simply a reskin, but is the most interesting one. These are the remaining clones, with graphical changes and some minor tweaks. These are a blast to play through. Here are just some of the highlights. Game 3. An extremely limited quest with only a few items to collect, mostly in the stores. It has some strange areas, like this one. The dungeons are extremely short, and only levels of 1, 2, 5, and 9. I have a feeling that the designer was going to make another rafting dock, leading to more area, but got lazy and cut this short. Lastly, the second quest is broken. Also, saving Zelda in the second quest is this easy. Game 4. This is a hard quest. The overworld is complicated to navigate through, along with loads of enemies. At the start, you are just given the boomerang. You will need to venture into level 1 dungeon to find the sword. Definitely for the experienced player. My biggest gripes is that the difficulty is overdone. You got Reapers that inflict tons of damage, bubbles in dungeons that actually hurt you and inflict more damage than the Wizrobe's raise. Even the Warp Whistle's Whirlwind inflicts a little damage. Game 7, Extreme M. In this one, the dungeons are unchanged. The overworld is different, with a difficult hunt for the sword at the start. However, it is broken due to bugs in the overworld screens. There's no access to the top right portion, nor where levels 2 and 8 are. The only shop that sells the blue candle is also tucked over there. I never found the bracelet or the magic sword. The next bug is this one. You cannot use the ladder to get over to the hidden heart container in the next screen. Another bug is this cave at the bottom left. Also, if you go 2 screens up from there, the game always freezes on that screen. Oh yes, there's even a room that simply leads off the map, taking you back to the beginning. I can't recommend this to anyone. It is unfinishable without the Game Genie. Game 10, Ganon's Curse. Like Game 4, this is a harder quest, but less difficult. The dungeons are less complicated than Game 4. Most of the difficulty in this one comes from items not accessible in the overworld at the start, leaving you with just the wooden sword and no extra heart containers until later. The shops that sell the blue mail and the power glove, which acts as the bracelet, can't be accessed until you get the raft in level 3, and even then,
sell a whopping 255 rupees each. There's plenty of hidden money caves in the overworld, so seek them out. However, this quest isn't perfect. There's 2 glitched caves. I didn't find the last heart container nor the red lantern in this quest. This game does have a second quest. The dungeon maps are the same as the normal game, but the rooms changed. There are overworld secrets to be found with the whistle. However, there is a new bug. You must get the ladder out of level 6 in order to get to the level 4 dungeon. Oh, there is another bug. In this room of level 9, the mold worms have nowhere to turn and always freezes the game, making this quest impossible to complete. Game 11, Ganon's Deception. This is ultra hardcore. The overworld is loaded with blue wizrobes and blue lionels. The difficulty is grating. However, what is more grating is how bad the music is retuned. If you're going to take this challenge, these tips will help you through the overworld. If the room only has a few enemies, like 5 or less, leave 1 alive. But if the room has many enemies, like this one, you need to leave 2 enemies living. Whenever you kill any enemies, leave the room and return. That way, if you die, then those enemies will stay gone when you return. And here are the bugs I found in this game. You need a ladder from the level 5 dungeon to complete the level 4 dungeon. In the level 8 dungeon, there's a room you can't get in. And then there's also a hidden cave that you can't ladder to that's done in a similar way of level 8 in the second quest normally. The second quest also has bugs. The fairy ponds, there's a secret money cave, and when you exit, you'll be stuck in the pot when you get out. In this screen with the broken bridge, if you blow the whistle and enter the hidden stairs, you will just exit and the game freezes up. Game 12, Ganon's Revenge. This one just simply has parts of the overworld modified, making it into a difficult maze and with limited shops. The enemies and dungeons are unchanged. This one is fun, but is only a single quest venture. There's even an Easter egg in this game. This waterfall can only be reached with the Game Genie. Game 13, Hyrule's Doom. Like Game 4, this one has a complicated overworld, but easier and less enemies. The dungeons use existing maps, but with changed rooms. What's cool in this one is shops with free hearts and 4 rupee bombs. There are lots of paths blocked by burnable trees, so buying the blue candle is vital in this game. Once you have the candle, seek out the store in the bottom left corner. The next important items are hidden here. This game isn't perfect. When you are at the level 3 entrance, you are trapped here and have to just save the game. In the level 7 dungeon, although not critical, you can't get past this portion of the dungeon. The map for the level 9 dungeon can't be accessed either. And in the second quest, you can't get to this hidden whistleable staircase. Game 14, Link's Shadow. The deliberately limited inventory as you go along really sucks out a lot of the fun in this one. Overly difficult dungeons and a complicated overworld to spend loads of time wandering around. As for the dungeons, here's them in a nutshell. Here's the desert trap room and where to go. Remember that this game doesn't tell you the solution. And for humor, this advice room is redundant. This is inside level 7, and you need the raft to get here. The raft is in level 8, so you would have had to already figured this out before you could read this. So, is there anything exceptional about this game? Actually, there is. The magic wand is as strong as the magic sword, so this is really cool. There is also a second quest with even more inventory limitations. Game 15, M. This ROM hack is nearly identical to Extreme M. I was hoping that the bugs would have been fixed, but no. All the same game-breaking bugs are here. You still can't get to levels 2 or 8, nor the candle shop. The bottom left corner cave is still glitched, and 2 rooms above that still freezes the game. Is there any significant difference with this one? Yes, an extra heart container instead of the white sword. And just like Extreme M, the magic sword is nowhere to be found. So you're just stuck with the wooden sword for the entire quest. This game is definitely only fun with the Game Genie. Game 16, Moon Time Crisis, Fall of the Moon. This one is a very cool reskin, with many changes in the overworld. You are a wolf named Rashu. You will fight Luigi's instead of snakes, and Link's instead of Darknuts. Yes, you kill Link! The huge game changer in this one is that there's no wooden sword, and is told to you in the intro. In the first quest, simply seek out the heart containers and get the white sword right away. But in the second quest, you will need to bomb your way through level 2 and grab the Chrono, then use it to get the heart containers in the overworld. This hack is popular and sells around the same money as this entire multi-cart. Game 17, Outlands. This one is really awesome. It's a full customization, starting with the white sword right on the first screen. Another extremely cool thing here is these 2 shops that sell upgraded equipment. An easy way to grind up rupees is to fight in these 2 screens, save your game, and repeat. What gets really confusing in this game is that the enemies are swapped, making you forget which enemy you are actually fighting. There is a game-breaking bug. No blue lantern. When you have enough rupees, save, start up game 1, and buy the candle from the store and save again. This is the only way to complete the first quest. I found another bug. From this pathway screen, go left and down. Bomb this wall to find a glitched dungeon that you are trapped in at the top. This one does have a second quest, but wasn't completed. The first omission you will find is that the Chrono can't be found anywhere. You will need to cheat to get it. The dungeons in this quest are lettered to spell Outlands, but U is missing. This is where you are supposed to find the Chrono. Also, the final dungeon is missing over here. Games 20 and 21. Shin Densetsu and Shin Densetsu Remo. These games are completely identical, making the second version redundant. In here, the roles are reversed as you play Zelda rescuing Link. The dungeons are numbered with hieroglyphic symbols shown in order inside this cave. The shopkeepers take advantage of Zelda being a girl and charge her higher prices. I found a huge negative. This hacker couldn't leave politics out of the game. There is a second quest with more negatives. Harder enemies with limited items available as you progress. Excessive grinding for rupees. Expensive items in shops and loads of mugmen in the dungeons. This game has the most money grinding of all the games on this entire cart. Level 5 and Level 8 dungeons are short 1 key each. Yes, you will have to buy keys from the shops, something I'm not a fan of. And finally, the final dungeon is a massive 90-room maze. Be sure to draw out a map as you go through this. There is also a bug in the final dungeon. Not far from the entrance is a room full of red bats. But if you enter this room from below, the game freezes. Game 22, Stone Legion. To put it shortly, this is a broken mess. To start with, all of these items are missing. Here's the other bugs in a nutshell. Game 23, Triforce Power. Another great but failed hack project due to the bugs. But first, what's good and interesting? The design aesthetics are great. At the start, you were given a choice between the sword or a blue lantern. Why anyone would pick the blue lantern over the sword? Anyways, just grab the sword and move on. The next good thing here is the shops. You can buy the red lantern, a ladder, a raft, and even heart containers. The last awesome thing here is the dungeon music. Check it out. Unfortunately, all this greatness is killed with multiple game-breaking bugs. I'm going to start with the maze screens. In the forest maze, you will need to go down, left, up, and left. And in the upper maze, go up, up, right, and then up again. So why are these bugs, you ask? Because the hint messages in this game are just garbled. They are also garbled in the dungeons too. Next is the roadway, which is broken. Like the previous game, it only works from one place. But it gets worse. The other road locations just freeze the game. Getting the letter to buy medicine has a hitch too. When you get it, you will need to quit and save your game, because leaving this cave will freeze the game and lose all your progress. Another thing is this item next to the heart container in this shop. It does nothing. It's a bug. There's a shut door in the entrance of level 3. You will need to exit and return to open it up. In level 4, there are rooms you just get trapped in. A raft you can't collect in level 5. Fortunately, you can buy this at the shop. In level 6, the game freezes in this room with the mold arms. You can't finish this level. The last 3 rooms of level 7 can't be accessed anywhere, and I finally just gave up on this game at this point. The variations for Zelda 2 will be covered in a future video.
Stay tuned for additional videos, and don't forget to subscribe.